Hey, welcome to Settlers of Urban Catan. I am Ivan Rodriguez, and I'm here with
Rebecca Swearingen.
and we are the AP Human Geography instructors, and we're going to go over the rules of how to play this game. So, first thing that you guys are going to need is the game board, and you're also going to need a copy of the instructions. It should look like that right there. And every player should also receive one of these called a building costs tile. Looks like that. And you want to put that right in front of you. All right. Also, in this little bag right here are going to be all the pieces that each of the players need. So we have 4 players. Let me move this down so you can see. 4 players, each one a different color. Red, orange, green, and blue. And what you're going to do is, once you get your pieces, and I believe it is 7 little cubes representing towns and 8 little buttons representing villages, you're going to put them on the game board that corresponds with your color. So the little cubes go on the circle of your color, and you can see there's 2 of those. And the little buttons, your villages, go on the dotted lines of your color as well. Also in the bag, you should have one of these little piles, a Primate City little bag of goodies. You'll put those in a little pile off to the side, which I think you can see right there. And you'll receive a Walter Kristaller, a little purple guy. In some of the bags, it might be a white colored gingerbread man. He will go right in the center. All right. You guys also need a dice, one that looks like this, and you'll need what we're going to call the marketplace. All right. The marketplace has 5 different items on it: sewage, clean water, telecommunications, electricity, and transportation. And what you guys will do is you'll unclip these little piles and you'll put one of each on the marketplace. So 1 transportation on transportation, 1 electricity on electricity, and so on until you've got 1 on each. And then the rest of them go in this little pile right here. Don't forget, every player from this pile right here, needs to receive 1 sewage and 1 transportation. Once we've got all of that and these pieces have been distributed to the individual players, we're ready to start. So the game starts with the youngest player, which I think here is Miss Swearingen, and it proceeds in a clockwise or counterclockwise formation. You guys can decide that, but Miss Swearingen is going to roll the dice, and it's going to land on, which model is that? McGee's Southeast Asian City model. So once the dice has been rolled and it's landed on that, we're going to look at the board, and specifically, we're going to be looking at each of those cities on the board. So we've got 1 there, all right? Now, if we get in a little closer, we can see that there is an infrastructure tile that goes with it. So the way this works is all the players whose pieces are surrounding the Southeast Asian city receive 1 of those tiles. That would be the orange player receiving clean water and the blue player. Each of you guys receive 1 of these. We also have a Southeast Asian model right here. So the green player and the red player would also receive a tile, but theirs is different. They receive transportation. Perfect. And I think there's one last one. Is there one last Southeast Asian on the board, or just the 2?
Looks like just the 2.
So on that one, it's just the 2. And for the player who rolled, in this case, it was Miss Swearingen. At this point, Miss Swearingen has the sewage and transportation tiles that she began with, as well as clean water. So she has got 3 tiles at this point. And what she wants to do is, using her building costs sheet, she wants to see if she can build anything with that. Can you build anything with that?
I've got this, and this, but no telecommunications, so I cannot build a town. I'm missing telecommunications, I can't create a village, and I am missing
Electricity.
Electricity, so I can't create a city.
All right. So she does not have enough to build anything yet or trade. And that's going to happen probably initially in the beginning. But as you guys start playing, you'll start getting more infrastructure tiles, and you guys can start building and trading a little more. All right, and we're back. We took a little pause. So the next thing that Miss Swearingen cannot build, she cannot build a town or village with the tiles that she has. But since it's still her turn, she does have the option to trade. Now, when you trade with one of two things. You can trade with the marketplace, or you can trade with the stockpile. Let's go over the first one. If you're going to trade with the marketplace, you have to trade 1 for 1. So what do you want to trade?
I could trade to make a village.
She wants to build a village.
I would need telecommunications and sewage. I have sewage, so I will trade my clean water for telecommunications. So I'll take this one and switch it out.
And now that she's done that, she has the tiles now at this point to build a village. So what she's going to do is she's going to take those 2 tiles, in this case telecommunications and sewage, and she's going to add them back to the stockpile. And now she could take her little village, which color are you, orange? And she can put it over here. All right. Now, to win the game, you have to be the first player who builds 7 of these on your board, but you have to go in an alternating fashion. So if you start right here, if we zoom in, right, from here, she could build a town, and we know what a town costs if we look at our building cost tile. Or she could build a village going this way, but you have to go town, village, town. You can't build a town over here. You can't build a village over there. All right, they have to be connecting. So that's why Miss Swearingen decided to put her village all the way over here. And now the next thing she can build is a town. And you win the game by building 7 of those. First player who can build 7. Alternatively, if she didn't want to trade with the marketplace, she could trade with the stockpile. But the stockpile costs a little different. The marketplace is 1 for 1. The stockpile is 2 for 1. She would need 2 of the same tile to trade with the stockpile, to trade 1, and she doesn't have 2 of the same. So on her turn, she cannot trade with the stockpile. She can only trade with the marketplace. The last thing we wanted to mention is if you roll an African city model. Where is it at? Am I missing it? This student? Not
Here it is.
Okay, there we go. The African city model. All right, if you roll the African city model, something different happens. On that one, no one receives infrastructure tiles. Instead, the player who rolled this gets to move Walter Kristaller onto any other city. So he comes out of the brownfields. Oops, I should move this up. Sorry. Walter Kristaller comes out of the brownfields, and you can put him on any city. If Miss Swearingen was doing it, she'd probably want to go to a city like this one, where she would receive the tiles and no one else. If you move Walter Kristaller, you receive, you take 2 infrastructure tiles normally produced by that city. So she would get 2 telecommunications. Nobody else would receive anything. And as long as he stays there, no one can receive infrastructure tiles for their towns if their towns are situated next to here. For as long as he stays there, no one can receive tiles even if your town is connected or adjacent to it. So be very strategic about where you put this, right? You want to put him where it's going to hurt the other players and they cannot get the tiles that they need. And I think that was it. Did we miss anything?